It's not Tuesday. It is Wednesday, but we need our hour of Eliot. And actually, what is that, 3 hours of Eliot that people could have today?
It's a lot of Eliot.
Yeah, that's
a long time. But look, when Kyle Schwarber signs an extension, you got to have me in to talk about it.
Absolutely.
Please,
yes,
King,
exactly.
what's your take?
Yeah, well, it's obviously terrible.
Terrible, awful. So who's with you at 6 o'clock tonight?
Brandon Lee Goutwin.
Wow.
Yeah.
BOG.
Another Phillies guy.
Argue about Sirianni again.
Yeah, there you go. Kyle Schwarber will join us at 4:30 today. What did you think of the deal, real quick?
Well, obviously happy for Kyle. What a great guy.
All right, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
So you said on we were discussing the scenarios in which the decision could potentially be made to play Tanner McKee. Are there scenarios that you could think of that they would make the decision to put Tanner McKee in this year?
The only way I think they go to Tanner this year is if they've decided they're moving on from Jalen this offseason. I don't think the move to Tanner this year would be about this year. I don't think they would bench Jalen to try to save this season. I don't think they would do it to try to motivate him. If they want Jalen to be their quarterback beyond this season, then they stick with him. And I don't think they're going to bench Jalen, to be clear. I don't think there is any level of play he could get to where they would take him out of the game. So barring injury, they're not taking him out. But if they look down the road and say, Jalen's going to want a new contract this season, we are interested in having Tanner to see what he is, then I think you could do it if he plays poorly again. But I don't think benching Jalen would be about this year.
So given what we've heard from reports from, in McClain's article, I think it was yesterday, he said something about internally, like they just don't feel like he's listening at all. And there have been the reports that people are frustrated internally, all of those things. Given all of that stuff, what do you think the likelihood is that the team is thinking, this guy's not our future?
It's an interesting way to phrase it. Like, I think they know that Jalen has limitations, and I think they would be interested in seeing what the offense would look like with a different quarterback. But I also think they know they've won a lot of games with Jalen. He represents a franchise in a great way. Like, there are a lot of benefits having Jalen as their franchise quarterback. I mean, again, like, we can talk about how much they think he holds responsibility for it. I think they should be a little careful what they wish for, because between McNabb and Jalen, it took them like 20 years to find a franchise quarterback. They had Carson for a little bit, but he got hurt, right? So they have not had a quarterback with this level of sustained success since McNabb, and that really ended in 2004. So we're talking about 20 years there.
No, don't sell short the fifth NFC Championship game.
In 2008?
Yeah.
Well, that's like going to be this year's Super Bowl run, basically, if that's how it goes. But to your point,
09.
No, it was 08.
It was 09, but it was 08 season.
There we go. Our favorite debate. Yeah. I think this is all about money. It really is all about money. I think if they knew, if they knew they didn't have to give Jalen a new contract this offseason, then I think they'd be mostly happy going into next year with him and wouldn't risk anything. But I think the idea of doubling down on him is when you would have to you'd have to decide internally, do we want to commit the next 3 years to him?
Would you double down on him?
I've been thinking about that all day, and I would double down on him. And the reason...
I love the fact that you didn't even hesitate.
Yeah.
He did hesitate.
Well, he did hesitate.
Yeah, you hesitated.
I don't say hesitate.
Yeah, he definitely hesitated.
Well, if you had to think about it all day, then...
Well, I've been thinking about it.
Okay,
yeah.
All right.
And I've landed on that I would. And ultimately the reason I fell on is kind of what I just said. Like, Jalen has flaws, but this team struggled to find a quarterback for a really long time. It's not easy to find guys like Jalen Hurts. Like, he has limitations, but what he is ultimately, like, this is what made me realize it with Tanner. I think if Tanner went in, there's a chance the passing game is better, right? But
what's likely?
Well, I don't think it's likely. Tanner has never played meaningful NFL football. If you put, all right, let's say you put...
it was better with Kenny Pickett last year.
For one game, that wasn't even a full game. Right,
but two meaningless games where two teams weren't even trying to win.
I guess what I'm saying is with Jalen, you know what the floor is. Jalen can handle the market. He can handle being the franchise quarterback. He's mostly smart with the football. He's not been this year, obviously. Like, you're going to win a lot of games with him. I think the floor is very high. Now, if you tell me there's a chance the floor is higher with Tanner, like, maybe just because I do think he might not have the limitations that Jalen has as a passer, but what Jalen does is almost becoming a little underappreciated. Like, I mean, he has been to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years, and I know now it's like almost, taboo to bring that up, but it is true. And like, finding a quarterback that can do that is not easy to do.
I agree with you.
When you say 2 Super Bowls in 3 years, that's 2 Super Bowls in the last 3 years.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's 2 Super Bowls in the last 3 years.
I think we can all have an appropriate excitement about what Tanner could be while acknowledging we have no idea what he is.
I think that's fair.
No idea.
I think that's fair, but you saying...
He could crumble. He could get in there and crumble.
Sure.
I'm not saying he would, but he might. Like, you have no idea.
Absolutely. But he also might not.
He might not. And that's the risk I think that's the risk you take.
Well, and I said he doesn't have the benefit of a young quarterback sort of trying to grow. He's automatically in the pressure cooker.
Yeah.
This team is built to win right now. This fan base will even demand that even more you win if you move on from Jalen Hurts. So that's even more pressure on him and the organization to be right about Tanner.
Well, and I also think if you said to me in terms of doubling down on Jalen, let's just remove the rest of this season because they're not moving on from Jalen. So whatever happens this year is going to happen.
Okay.
But after this year, for the next 3 seasons, where would you feel more confident with this team? Door 1, which is Jalen Hurts, right? Like he is who he is. Jalen is your guy. B, Tanner for a year, right? Or C, some other option. You draft a quarterback. I think it's unrealistic they trade for like a Joe Burrow, like, somewhat, some other option. Yeah. And I think the option that clearly gives you the best chance of success is Jalen.
Well, I think if you're looking backward, I think that's for sure. If you're looking forward, I don't know if that's true. And here's why. You said it's becoming underappreciated what he does well. He's limited. All right. What would you say his limitations are?
So I think he's inconsistent as a passer.
Okay.
I think he can make all the throws, but like he can't do it consistently. Like,
sure.
right?
That's the difference
Yes.
between good at it and not
exactly,
good at it. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we're looking backwards, one of the things that we would appreciate about him is that he was sort of a double threat quarterback. Mm-hmm. He could run, he could also throw. He appears, for whatever reason, uninterested in running. And I know when I watched him on Monday night, that was not a guy who was interested in running the football
I agree with you.
And taking contact. It changes the calculus on what he's good at and how good he is. It just does. And I think we've seen it this year. You can throw out all the numbers you want. This is the worst year of his career. To my eyes, it's the worst year of his career. Putting 21 aside.
I would agree.
23 was worse.
23, now, he just turned it over 4 times. Like, 23, the problem was with turnovers.
This is the one game that he's had. We've nitpicked at certain things all year. This is the one true game.
He was really bad.
Where the turnovers and things
Turnovers,
were there. Yes.
That's
when you're at your worst.
Yeah.
I just don't.
As I've always said.
I just don't think I have questions about even if he goes back to not turning it over. If he goes back to not turning it over and he's not running the football, man, you're painting yourself into quite a corner in terms of how your offense is going to succeed. I've said a few times that generally when you say just don't turn the ball over, that's what you tell your backup quarterback. Mm-hmm. That's not what you tell your starter. Your starter, you're like, go out there, make plays, score points, whatever.
That's only if you have a starter that's good enough to overcome those things. See, I look at the landscape of the quarterback in the NFL. Mm-hmm. There's about a handful of those guys that you can overcome turnovers, and they're still going to throw for 300 yards and put on a Superman cape. There's about 20 other quarterbacks that can't do that teams have to have a starting quarterback for. So I would ask this question. What do you think Tanner McKee would be as a starter at his best? Top 10? Top 15, top 20, top 5?
It's hard to tell because I think he's in a good infrastructure.
Yeah, but you got to project this.
No, I agree.
So what do you think he would be with this organization and everything else? What is he going to be as a quarterback? Is he going to be a top 10 quarterback?
I don't think he's top 5. I don't think he's athletic enough. I think he could be close to it.
You think Tanner McKee can be a top 10 quarterback in this league based on what?
Based off the infrastructure that he's like. I think the Eagles are good. I'm just saying, he would come into a good system.
Well, then
would
you
help
should just put him in.
Well, but you already have one in Jalen.
We have had one.
Yeah, because you wouldn't say he's playing like a top 10 quarterback right now.
No, he's not playing like it right now. I agree with that.
Okay.
But he's clearly been a top 10 quarterback during his duration with the Eagles.
Top 10 quarterback.
All right, maybe I went too strong.
Say that again.
All right, you're right. You're right.
Top 10 quarterback.
Yes.
You know how many quarterbacks that makes him better than?
Top 15, 18-ish around there. You're right. Top 10 is high.
Top 20, it's a miracle.
So
if he's top 20,
I
like Tanner McKee.
No, I know. And maybe I'm influenced.
Dude, 20 quarterbacks in this league?
Yeah, no, I think
a guy who hasn't even started a meaningful game yet. He was a six-round pick.
No, you're right.
You guys are projecting he's going to be a top 20 quarterback in this league.
You hope he's Brock Purdy.
I'm more on your side than it sounds like on this one.
I like Tanner McKee, but they got to be realistic here, man.
But Brock Purdy,
top 15 quarterback.
Hold on, but Brock Purdy makes $50 million a year.
And he has Kyle Shanahan
Purdy,
as his quarterback coach. I mean, as his coach.
And how many good years has Brock really had? Like, I'd have to go look, but he's not.
He had 1 year
exactly
right. One great year.
He's not been consistent.
Well, that year was a disaster last year. He's been hurt this year as well.
Right.
To me, it's less about Tanner and more about doubling down on Jalen. And I would be nervous.
He's proven.
Well, but like,
at least you're getting a top 15 quarterback.
I don't know that moving forward.
Oh yeah.
But he's been top 15 this year.
Yeah, he's been a top 15.
I think he has. Now you're going to go to the win thing that it doesn't matter.
He's been an average quarterback. This last game will skew it, but he's been the top 15 quarterback this year.
All right, I'll go look. I just move it, but you don't want to pay.
That's nothing to brag
You don't
about.
want to, and you don't want to double. You want to double down on a guy that's already making $50 million a year, who you're saying is probably top 15 moving forward.
Well, I think he's been top 15 this year. I think if you were to go where he ranks, like whatever time frame you want to pick, he's much closer to top 10 over the past 3 years.
Okay. You said the Eagles outplayed the Chargers. So, my quarterback's good because he doesn't turn it over. The team had 5 turnovers.
Yeah, it was bad.
So they couldn't have outplayed him because they lost and they had 5 turnovers.
So maybe outplayed is strong, but when I rewatched the game, I felt the Eagles had the 2 best chances to win the game and they blew it. They had it with 2 minutes go. Now they blew it, right? So that's part of it for sure. But I'm saying the Chargers, in my opinion, didn't beat the Eagles. The Eagles beat themselves.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Chargers did a better job of not losing the game, which is what
that's
you
fair.
always
That's
give
fair.
credit to
Yeah,
the
that's
Eagles.
fair.
Okay.
That's fair. I was just saying the Eagles had those 2 chances. I thought they had the 2 best chances to win the game.
Let me ask you this. Okay. So I think we're resigned to the fact that Jalen Hurts is not going to run the ball a lot moving forward.
Agreed.
Right? I mean, for whatever reason, I'm not saying he doesn't want to. I'm just saying he's not going to.
It's okay to say it.
Well, no, I'm not allowed.
It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he wants to. So how do you build the team around? How do you rebuild this and put the infrastructure around Jalen to succeed again? Because I don't think you can go back to, we got there with, was it Swift that year or was it, with DeAndre Swift? Yep. Because at that point, you had a quarterback.
Got where with DeAndre Swift?
The Super Bowl.
That was Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders,
right.
Right, Miles Sanders. And then they had, in 23, they had Swift. And then, right. So, but that was in 22, that was a Jalen that ran 165 times.
Yeah.
So you could have maybe a running back that wasn't the most dynamic guy in the world because you had 2 dynamic things in the backfield. So what do you do?
So I think it definitely starts with you have to have a better running game. Like, absolutely. Well, this year, I don't know if that's going to happen.
No, next year.
I think next year,
get Steen out of there.
Whatever you think the reason is,
whether the best guard in the damn draft.
If, honestly, maybe draft a running back in the second round.
They could play guard.
Did you just say you want a guard in the draft?
No,
it all comes back around. Yeah.
The tackle that can play guard that moves out the tackle
until
when
Lane
retires.
is next year.
Interesting.
I mean, I would consider using a high pick on a running back next year. We've seen.
You're already starting.
Well, I'm just saying we've seen what a dynamic running back can do in this offense, and Saquon's not having a good year, and I don't know why next year Saquon would be better.
Yeah,
you're not doubling down on Saquon.
Man.
You wouldn't use like a second round pick on.
And then you probably have to trade AJ, right?
No, why would you have to trade AJ
if you're keeping Jalen?
Yeah.
Oh, it's over.
Oh, I see. That dynamic. Okay.
I don't know, man. They smiled.
Did you see him on Hard Knocks?
Yeah, you see him on Hard Knocks?
Yeah, I saw the 4 seconds on Hard Knocks, buddy.
He defended him at the post-game podium.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, they at the very least are doing a better job acting like they like each other. They definitely are.
Giving us that.
No, I know, for sure. Yeah.
Right. Listen, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Like they're high-fiving after touchdowns. I see him talking more.
I wish they could listen. All it took was to just get AJ the ball.
Yes.
And he's willing to play along.
Oh,
yeah.
I'll take it.
Well, after I don't know if you guys talked about this, but after the interception that went off AJ's hands, which I actually think was on Jalen, that was a bad throw. But
it was on AJ.
You think so?
He's a $35 million wide receiver.
He's going like this to catch it.
Catch the ball.
Yeah.
If every wide receiver needed the ball placed in their stomach to catch it, then is there no reason to pay him $35 million?
That's fair. That's fair.
Make
but
the catches that other guys can't
after
make.
that play, Jalen got up and walked over to AJ on the bench and gave him a fist bump or whatever. Like little things like that. Yeah. I know it's the bare minimum, but there is more of that than there used to be.
Yeah, but they can't go into the year with both those guys on the roster next year.
Well, how do you know those, Spike?
Because
listen, AJ's gonna get 1,000 yards.
Okay.
Again.
But they go into next year.
10 touchdowns.
They go into next year. You're talking about drafting a running back. We all know
well,
they
that's
got
nuts. He's not.
Why is that nuts? I would absolutely draft
in
a
the
running
first
back.
round?
No, I said in the second round.
Oh, in the second round.
Yeah, not in the first round.
Oh,
I mean,
thought you meant
who
the
knows
first
where they
round.
go? But yeah.
It's just, if we all agree he's not a dynamic passer, we all agree it has to be built around the running game. You have $60 million. You're paying 2 wide receivers. You have one of them who can't wait to talk about how bad the passing game is, who thinks he's giving up his entire career playing here. Like,
We're back on track, though.
What's that?
We're back on track.
Yeah.
Well, but here's the interesting part of the AJ thing.
Yeah.
What's his trade value?
Well,
Is it as high as it was at the beginning of the year?
Buffalo and New England, I would imagine either one of those teams would.
It's a
would
3.
jump up.
Okay, but I'm saying, so if you're the Eagles, are you trading AJ for a 3?
Well, they
No.
can't pay both guys anyway. They can't. They can't moving forward. They can't.
Well,
There's a reason other teams don't do this.
let me ask you
Successful
this.
other teams don't do
Let me
that.
ask you this: Do you think of the defensive players that are eligible for extensions this offseason, do you think the Eagles are giving any out?
So
Start with Jalen Carter. Do you think he gets an extension this offseason?
I mean, yes, just because I don't think Jalen Carter and Drew Rosenhaus will react well to being made to wait a year for the contract. But there's also other names that are really interesting, like Jordan Davis. He's been awesome this year.
real quick.
Moro Jomo.
Real quick on the Jalen Carter one. Do you think the value of the contract is down?
Yes.
Okay.
I think at least from the Eagles
So it
bargaining.
still benefits for the Eagles, even if they do it early. It won't be as high as it would have been.
I'm
Correct.
planting this flag. If they give Jalen Carter an extension this offseason, he will be the highest paid defensive tackle in the NFL.
A defensive tackle?
Yes.
Okay, maybe.
In
I
the
think at
NFL.
one point there was talks of him being the highest paid defensive player.
No, probably not. He's
Okay.
not. But
Yeah.
he will be the highest paid defensive tackle in the NFL. There is no way, 0% chance, Drew Rosenhaus is letting him sign a deal that doesn't make him the highest paid defense. I don't care how he played this
But
year.
if you're the Eagles, would you do it?
Well, I have no
That's
idea.
the point.
No, they don't have to.
Right,
I
but
mean,
that's the tough part.
Well,
I
and
mean,
it's
I don't know if I would do it.
I don't think I'd do it.
I don't know if I
I was thinking about this. Would you rather pay Jordan Davis, Moro Jomo, and Nolan Smith or Jalen Carter?
I don't question Jalen Carter's talent, but the maturity thing still scares me.
Sure.
I'm still a little leery of that. His talent is unquestionable, but his dedication, he wasn't in shape. Vic Fangio wasn't happy about that. Who knows? Did that contribute to his injury problems with his shoulder? He's been dealing with that all year. I'm just saying, it just the maturity thing there. You're going to commit that type of money, man. You would better be sure that you got a guy that you can rely on.
I mean, think about it this way. Both Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis went into this year with one sole focus, earning a contract. Jordan Davis showed up in the best shape of his life. He's having his best year, right?
Yeah.
Jalen Carter got
Who said that before the season started?
That was you.
Okay.
That was you.
Jalen Carter has not done that. You know, he got thrown out of the first game of the year. So, but the problem is, I don't think Jalen Carter and his team of agents will react well to being made to wait a year.
I also think moving forward, I see the way the Eagles build football teams and who they pay, and they look at Fletcher Cox, and they thought to themselves, if we have Fletcher Cox there, I know, but they look at him sitting there and saying, if we have that guy in there, I think they would say to themselves, the reason the Moro Ojomo is good is because of Jalen Carter.
agree with all
the
that.
reason that Jalen Carter is good, that Jordan Davis is because of Jalen Carter.
Yeah, although I will say, now the Chargers' offensive line's not good. That it's bad, agreed, for sure.
Yeah.
But that defensive line, dominated, on Monday.
Sure,
they were awesome.
Well, and him and Jalen Hurts. Hurts not getting his extension, and we're going to give Jalen Carter an extension?
I don't think they can give Hurts an extension this offseason, unless there's a monster.
Well, then maybe he's gone.
Give Jalen Carter an extension, but not give Jalen Hurts.
I'm not saying me. I'm saying what I think the Eagles will do.
Well,
but if
he asks for one,
I would make everybody just play out their contract.
But
and
if
then
you're
sign them.
Jalen
I
Hurts,
would be a terrible general manager. You have a contract. What am I giving you another contract for?
this is my former boss right here.
Yeah,
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 exactly.
Yeah. Well, look.
Just quickly, I would say though, if you're Jalen Hurts, and I'm not saying he's played great this year because he obviously has not, but he has dealt with a year of leaks about him.
Yes.
And then you don't want to pay him. I'm sure there's another team out there that'll overpay Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
So if you're if you're Mr. GM, right?
Shane Steichen
if his team comes to you, well, I don't know if Shane would do it, but it would have to be.
Why wouldn't he?
I mean, I think he's coached Jalen.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Why would he not
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
work out for him?
But
yeah, he seemed to got a head coaching
But
job.
what
because
about
of
the
it.
Jets, the Steelers? So you're the GM, and his team goes to you and goes, "This is what we want for a contract. There's another team willing to pay us this,
Yes.
right? Like, trade us or pay us. What would you do?"
Yes.
I would trade him.
Okay.
Rather than pay him, I would trade him. Jalen?
what do you-
Jalen Hurts?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are out of your mind. I didn't like tell him to. I would tell
It's
him.
real easy to
I
say to
would
move on from a quarterback until all of a sudden you're
Yes.
back to like a year and a half of Vic, Kevin Cobb, Foles,
They all said this about
Wentz.
Wentz. They all said this about Wentz, and they moved on. And what they do?
Well, I'll tell you what. Some people said don't pay Wentz.
Yeah.
They said keep Foles is the guy.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
there's that too.
Yeah.
All right, 215-592-9494.
Be quiet.
Coming up next.
I just want to say something so bad.
Please don't.
Okay.
Coming up next, LaShawn McCoy said something pretty out of pocket about Kevin Petullo. We will bring you that. And also, I forgot what Jeremy Fowler wrote, so we're going to have to get to that as well, about the Eagles in the draft coming up this coming draft. This is the WIP Afternoon Show with Ike, Spike, and Fritz.
Even though winter's here, the best deals of the year are happening now.